can't go, right? Because you are working.
You're welcome to AAU Talks. My name is Agyemang Okyere Darko, and we've been discussing the issue of how African academics who are living in diaspora and are coming over to revitalize education in Africa. This has been discussed on several forums, and it has been underpinned by several studies concerning national policies, mobilizing resources, and also the experience of other regions in Africa. Today, I'm here with me as one academic mentor. He is an activist, he's a lecturer, and also the second vice president of the Dyna Awah. I'll let you know what that is later on. And we'll be in the studio to discuss the new initiative, how we can mobilize ourselves and put in structures to attract African academics in the diaspora to come and revitalize African higher education. Stay with me, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I'll let you know who he is and then zoom right to discussion. Stay with us. You're welcome back to AAU Talks, the voice of higher education in Africa. My name is Agyemang Okyere Darko, and before we went for the break, I told you about our topic, which is mobilizing the African academic diaspora for capacity building in Africa. And it's all about how we can attract the African diaspora who are academics basically, to come in and help revitalize the education system or the African higher education terrain here where we are. And we've lots of forums, platforms to discuss it. Today I have one initiative that is also meant to attract the African diaspora who are academics on to help support and revitalize our education. And with me in the studio is an academic mentor, an activist, a lecturer at the University of Professional Studies Accra, and also the second vice president of the Diaspora Academic Network, RY, in the person of Dr. Fred Awah. Doc, you're welcome to AAU Talks.
Thank you very much, Agyemang.
Great. I'm glad to introduce you again because the last time I had you here was the same issue of how we can advance higher education. Today you have a solution. You have a way forward, and I'm glad.
Thank you very much, Agyemang.
Great. Let's start with the main inception of the Diaspora Academic Network.
Okay. Thank you very much. The Diaspora Academic Network for Africa is the brainchild of a number of African academics living abroad that was spearheaded by our president, Dr. Pascal Doe. Okay. So Dr. Pascal Doe is Cameroonian by birth, but he schooled in Finland for his master and doctorates. And he eventually worked in Finland and the area of higher education. So together with other colleagues in the United States of America, United Kingdom, Germany, and other parts of Europe, there was the thinking that if African resources, especially academic resources, are harmonized towards coming home and helping the continent, it will be a good idea. So that is how the Diaspora Academic Network for Africa started. And then I'm happy to inform that the idea has been bought by the African Union. So in our launch tomorrow, the African Union would preside over the activities. That is Her Excellency Sarah Young, the High Commissioner for Human Resources and Technology of the African Union Commission. It is to tell you that the work of the Diaspora Academic Network for Africa is one that the continental structures are already recognizing, and they are seeing that we are bringing on board something that is a bit divergent from that which already exists. There are spots of diasporan activities that are relative to the development of Africa, but we are harmonizing these under one umbrella so that it will be structured towards giving solution to the academic challenges of our continent.
You were a lecturer at the University of Professional Studies Accra, Ghana, and Pascal Doe is in Finland. Let me say a partial finish, if I may say. How did this connection start? Now, as you serve as the second vice president, represented Ghana, how did it work in the first place?
Okay, so it is to be noted that African academics are worldwide. Okay, while some of us have decided to stay home and then help the activities of higher education at home, we also have our colleagues in diaspora working to help diaspora and also impacting home. So I want to think that they went through some kind of scanning to see African academics that may be cutting edge within these times. And it appears that it is within that framework that I was found. And then they reached out that I could work on behalf of the diaspora within the continent. So I accepted it because Africa has always been my heartbeat. If you have followed my trajectory from the student movement in Ghana, Commonwealth Students Association, the All African Students Union, it appears that Africa is my turn. And then when the opportunity came to serve on a larger pedestal that is at the higher education level, I nodded. I said, yes, I am available. And that's exactly what has brought about this discussion today.
Great. And also, as an academic mentor, you have been spearheading so many initiatives back in Ghana, as you were also Secretary General for ASU, and a whole lot. What really is the policy informant, or let's say the research and evidence informant initiative? We've had over some times how to invite diaspora over to support. What are the gaps that we have in Africa that we need diaspora and African diaspora and academic support? Okay,
so it is to be established in the first instance that no country or continent lives in isolation. That is why our brothers and sisters are working in the diaspora, meaning that they are impacting African knowledge that is beneficial to what? The diaspora.
Okay.
Inversely, it is important also to think that whilst they are there, they are also gaining some knowledge of European and American and other jurisdictional origins. That would mean that when there is a deficit in the African system, they must also come home to what? Give back to us. So that is what has propelled this new organization and the thinking. I think others would argue that such initiatives are already running. Yes, we say yes at Diana Ray, and we are saying that whilst snippets of these efforts are being made, there is the need for an overwhelming body, okay, that seem to harmonize the efforts of all of these snippets of activities that Africans in the diaspora are trying to bring home. That is the impetus within which Dianary was formed. And then if you go onto our website, Diaspora Academic Network for Africa, you would realize that we are of different expertise. Myself, I'm a public administrator. There are others in higher education, others in biology, chemistry, all diversity of areas, meaning that the nook and cranny of Africa would benefit from diaspora expertise, okay, in all of the spheres of our educational life. That is what is unique about the Diaspora Academic Network for Africa. And our president, Pascal Doe, has consistently hinted on this.
I must say that, you know, we're looking at the reattach to the Dianary, the DINA. What is it standing for?
You know, it's like limited, registered organization. Remember that much as we are a global organization, we have our umbilical cord tied to Finland. That's where the organization is registered. Yes, so RAY is like a limited kind of.
Strangely, it sounds more of like a limited liability organization compared to an unlimited one. As an advocacy institution. Why limited?
Well, of course, there are always tendencies of thinking that way, but it's not limited. Okay, it's unlimited. Okay. So I think there is need for us to clear that. So no fears for Africa. Of course, when academics are involved, you will be certain that we have investigated the ups and downs of what the registration implication will be for our continent, and then we took the best for the African continent.
You highlighted the uniqueness of Dianary compared to other initiatives out there, which are also creating a level ground to invite the other African diaspora who are academics. Take us through some of the unique factors that Dianary assessed and makes Dianary stand out as the overwhelming institution amongst the others.
Okay, so most of the diasporan organizations that intend to support Africa are based in the diaspora without local representation within the continent. Okay, so the challenge usually is even helping the people. How to find the people to help becomes a challenge for you. So you would see clearly that I am not in the diaspora. I am a vice president representing Africa. So one of my key responsibilities is to identify the needs of African universities. So, for instance, University of Lagos, okay, or Lagos State University. Perhaps they have space for somebody in the area of maybe chemistry or physics. It is my responsibility to identify that and match it with a diasporan who has expertise in that area and wants to come back home to impact. Yeah. So my office liaises between the Lagos State University and this potential diasporan who is coming back home. Also, you know, when you are in diaspora, for instance, if you are a Ghanaian, the tendencies are that you want to come back to help Ghana. But we are saying that the concept of diaspora is hinged on the original thoughts of Pan-African leaders like Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, Julius Nyerere, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie. So, of course, so we think that the African identity shouldn't be limited to a country. So one of the unique things we are doing is that if you are a Ghanaian and you have an expertise, you don't bring it to Ghana. You take it to a different African country. So if you are a diasporan Ghanaian and you are coming back to help, you are not coming to Ghana. It's not like I'm going to help my immediate country. No, it's Africa. So that is a cardinal principle that underpins the activities of the Diaspora Academic Network from Africa. And that is a big departure from what has been happening over the years. Now, this helps in so many ways. If you left Ghana and you are in the United States of Africa, your orientation about Africa is Ghana, because that's where you grew up. Okay, so we are saying no. If you move from Ghana to Nigeria, to Ivory Coast, to Togo, to Tanzania, Zimbabwe, and any other country, you realize that Africa's challenges are unique to specific countries. So whilst you are in US and being Ghanaian, what you think you cannot do to help because you think it's not a challenge in Ghana may be a challenge in Togo. So whilst you are there, you see a new challenge and you find yourself as part of the solution. And that's what we have been tooting over the period, and we are going to make a very big emphatic statement on same tomorrow whilst we are launching the Diaspora African Academic Network, Diaspora Network for Academic Network for Africa, sorry.
You know, other institutions have mooted a mantra that it is a platform for humanitarian activities.
Okay.
So if you're an African academic diasporan and you want to come and support, you are coming on to do it wholeheartedly without getting anything.
Absolutely.
Is that the cause in this case, or perhaps there should be some remuneration for every act? We have gotten you to come and then do something to support as we pay you. Is it for free?
Yeah, absolutely for free. We are not taxing African universities. Reality is that we are in a global village. It must be understood that just as African academics are trying to help, there are funding institutions who are also looking for African academics to help them to help Africa. So there are some linkages. So much as we are not taking money from African governments and African institutions of higher education, we get our own sources of funding. So we bring our academics in and then we pay them. That is a stipend because of course they have to sleep. You need a hotel for them. They need air tickets from wherever they are coming from. You've got to pay that air ticket, and we are taking that responsibility. And we are using our funding networks to ensure that this is happening.
I think it will be the good of our viewers also to understand the funding base for Dinary, if you mind to share.
Well, of course, I don't have the clearance of the president to speak on this, but what I do know is that funding is available for these activities, and we are intellectuals, so it's our responsibilities to invest. It's our responsibility to investigate into where those funding sources are, which we have done. So for us, we are ready to kickstart our work, and then after the launch, I am sure the next time I will be coming here, maybe you would see evidence of what Tina is doing.
Well, what ensued. Let us know more about the foundation, mission, vision, and objectives of Dinary.
Okay, so basically Dinary is established to harness diasporan resources for helping the diversity of higher education within the African continent. So that is in short what our mission is, and that the objectives of course trickles down from the mission. So Africans coming in to help in training, capacity building, lecturing, research, they all form and they all come down on our objectives. Yeah.
Great. We'll be looking more into some of the policy consultations and stakeholder involvement that was made before we got Danari at the Finland, and also some African countries, how they contributed to the formation of Danari. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back and then we'll zoom right to discussion. Stay with us. You're welcome back to AAU Talks. My name is Agyemang Okyere Darko, and I'm here with Dr. Fred Awah, lecturer at the University of Professional Studies Accra, and also the second vice president for DINARE, which is the Diaspora Academic Network. RE is the Finnish way to say limited or limited liability. So we're back on the discussion. We're about to interrogate into some of the policy underpinnings, particularly into the stakeholder consultation. Mostly, these platforms are created and indigenous institutions are not involved. We just see that, oh, they are here. We are mobilizing academic from the diaspora, and then avail yourself for to be a beneficiary. But their inputs, their requirements, their preferences are not really figured. How different did DINARE and undertake its her course, basically, to ensure that there was adequate stakeholder consultation?
All right, so I think that if interested parties are watching, they may want to go to our website. You'll realize that every part of Africa is represented by what? So we have sub-regional coordinators for West Africa, East Africa, Central Africa, and all of the regions of what? Africa. Apart from our vice presidents in different parts of Europe and then the Americas. So conversations have been going on amongst us as African academics, and then I think the fear to be allayed from the line of questioning you are interrogating is are African universities aware?
Or involved?
Are they involved?
Or were they interested in interest and preferences?
Absolutely.
Yeah, taken.
All right. So we have a framework. There is a form on our website for African universities. It will be launched tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. So it is just to identify needs, academic needs of various African countries, universities. So when we identify that, we match that with the skills of our African academics who want to come home and help. So for instance, Agyemang Bedu is researching into indigenous knowledge systems, and he wants to come into Togo. We look at the forms on our website. Maybe University of Lomé has a deficit for a researcher in indigenous knowledge systems. So I sit here as a vice president for Africa, together with my president for Africa, my second vice president, I am, then the vice president is from Nigeria. So we talk together, say, okay, this is what we need, and Togo has a deficit in that area. So let's bring Agyemang Bedu to help in the research area of indigenous knowledge systems at the University of Lomé. Are we together?
Okay.
So it's it's not rocket science, and it is not an event, it's a process. And then the question points out to the fact that we need to do more advocacy after the launch, and this is part of the advocacy we are doing. I think there's no platform bigger than this when it comes to higher education on the face of the continent. That is why we respected the AAU TV, and it is the first point of call for this advocacy drive before the launch tomorrow. And if you would be generous to support this event because you are the voice of higher education in Africa, I would request that tomorrow AAU be part of the launch, and also be generous enough to broadcast us to all of your networks within the nook and cranny of the continent.
We're glad you actually note us down as the prime voice of higher education in Africa, and we'll be there. We'll do our best to ensure that DINARE is given the biggest exposure it needs. And mostly back to the matter with the selection. We have African academic diasporas who are making their choice. Not the local representatives actually calling on for someone. How is the dynamics? Are you the one who tells, okay, I think there's a deficiency over here, I need you to come fill, or someone says, I want to fill this space in this university? How does it work?
Okay, so it is not just a one-fit-all kind of scenario. We are not here to satisfy the egos of African diasporas. We are here to fill a gap in Africa. That is why we create the form that gives the opportunity to the universities, the African universities, to tell us which area they need diasporan expertise in. Then we also have a mobilizing team in Europe. That is our colleagues in Europe. They also have matching skills, that is diaspora expertise, who have a certain skill that they want to bring home. And these persons who are abroad they don't determine where they go to.
Okay.
We determine their skill and where it would match.
Okay.
And it is part of the contracts we usually will sign with them before they come to Africa to impact that knowledge or fill in that gap.
Let's try and play a bit pessimistic here.
Okay.
You know, we're trying to have a forecast, and you have to anticipate the good and the bad. What are some of the challenges you foresee or Dynamic foresees when you invite someone who is an academic diaspora to come in and fill a space here in the hope of revitalizing our education system? Do you have any anticipatory challenges that you've noted down, and how you're working on them?
Okay, so the first that comes onto my mind may be cultural differences. So we may be Africans, all right, and we perhaps would have lived in America, Finland, Germany, or somewhere for 10 to 15 years, okay? So usually our orientation is rewired, not thinking like a traditional African, okay? So when you come back home, one of the challenges or tendencies you may meet is that things are not done the way it is done in Europe. So there will be a cultural shock. You are African, all right. You are in Africa, all right. But your mentality is European or American. So there is a meeting at 2 o'clock. You expect people to be there at 2 o'clock and they come at 3 o'clock. You can't take it.
Exactly.
So those are some of the challenges that we envisage. But of course, they are not just coming in raw. We would give orientations there. And when they get here too, the African team has a responsibility to give an orientation before they fit into the environment that would home them or house them for their stay for the project.
It reminds me of a friend who said, let me give you the bad news first, I'll give you the good news second.
Okay.
So now we've done with the bad one. Let's now go to the good one. What is the long-term impact Danary wishes to make in the African continents? Okay.
So at Danary, our understanding is that there is no continent that has ever developed without education. There is nothing that comes before education in the development metrics and nexus.
Okay.
Education is number one. And we think that our colleagues in other areas from the diaspora have done their bit. Sometimes they come to donate and all of that food stuff. But academia holds the key to the success of development. So we are thinking that if we impact the educational sector very well, then it will trickle down to all other sectors of the economy. And that's why we are holding the bull by the horn at this right time.
Let's be let's make some estimates and a bit specific on some achievements. I don't know what your long-term goals may be for Danary, but in the next 10 years, how should we feel your impact?
So as a research organization, it would be premature to start giving projections, all right? And I wouldn't do that because my area is research, and it is on the basis of research that I am sitting here today. So the projections may come after working a year or two. We would have known the reality of the job, and then we can say in the next 10 years, tendencies are that we will be here. So that this is not played 10 years after. They will say, oh, but you started and you projected like this, but then you didn't even project based on statistics, no realities, or the basis on which we can say that because of this, we can do this. We are beginning, we are a new organization, but we are coming on the back of mistakes of other diasporan organizations. So mistakes that they made, we would not make them. Are we together? That's what I can say for now, but projections, I think, is premature to make any projection.
They'll have to move ahead to tomorrow's launch. Tell us about the launch and how it's going to be like.
Okay, so the launch is basically to answer most of the questions you have asked me here, because there will be diverse speakers, big names like Nkem Nkumba of I think it's Washington State University. No, I've forgotten his university, but he's one of our proudest pillars. We have Dr. Combat Lambini Cosmos, straight from Germany, and you would want to listen to our president, Pascal Do. Yeah, he has a good understanding of the African diaspora. And then, of course, the African Union would be there. Her Excellency Sarah Anyangabo would be there to preside over the activities. And then, of course, your good friend, Dr. Fred Awah, would be there. So the table is going to be spiced with a lot of academic discussions, taking African diaspora from diverse perspectives, and then also making known to the world that this is something we have started, and that it is not going to be like other organizations, but we are going to use it as a platform of harnessing diasporan resources to help the African Union achieve its Agenda 2063.
I understand to be a virtual event.
Absolutely.
What time are we talking about?
Well, so it is 2 p.m. Ghana time, all right? And then I think if we could share you could just check if you are watching us on the Diaspora Academic Network. The announcement is on our website. It is also on our Facebook at the same Diaspora Academic Network for Africa. It is also on LinkedIn. The details of the speakers, the activities, the lineup, and all our mission, vision, objectives, they are all there. So if you are watching from a different country, the time may be different, but you can just convert it into your time zone. And then if you are an academic within the African higher education space, this is an event you wouldn't want to miss.
I sincerely look up to this event because I think that we still need more platforms to bring on board the African diaspora who are academics particularly, and Diana Ree is doing exactly that. So tomorrow, 2 p.m.
It's Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Thursday, 2 p.m. So we have a day to the launch.
Absolutely.
So Thursday, 2 p.m. Make a date on the virtual event, the launch of Diana Ree, and you want to meet these amazing speakers and what they have for the African continent, particularly to revitalize our education system. And let's do a final one with you on Diana Ree.
Okay.
I am so happy to hear that we have Diana Ree on board to be the creme de la creme, and also that overwhelming impactful institution. But tell us one last thing. What lasting impact should we look up to from Diana Ree?
Okay. So basically, our vision, as I've clearly outlined, is in sync with the African Union's Agenda 2063. Okay. And then we do believe, just like the African Union believes, that Africans must use African human resources to change the narrative of the African. And that can only come through training. So we are coming to help in the training bit of Africa, training, research, capacity building. And this ties into the original vision of Osagifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, when he said the black man is capable of managing his own affairs.
Great. So wherever you may be in the world, if you have an African descent, then you must be part of this initiative to come and then contribute your quota to the good development of the African continent. And through Diana Ree, we can realize this to the fullest. My name is Agyemang Okyere Darko, and I had with me here Dr. Fred Awah, an academic mentor, academic activist, second vice president for Diana Ree, and also a lecturer at the University of Professional Studies Accra in Ghana, representing Diana Ree. Doc, thank you so much for your time with us on AAU Talks. As we look forward to the launch of Diana Ree, just keep your hopes rising, because I think that Diana Ree is also a game changer that we all look forward to have in revitalizing African education. Stay with us for more of our programs on AAU. My name is Agyemang Okyere Darko. Have a nice day and bye.